ambition to fuel your week, to fuel you. Hi, happy Friday. Yay, I get to it in the middle of the day. I don't have a ton of time, but I figured I'd jump on here and share our topic of the day with you, which is ambition. Now, when I first read this, you'll have to tell me, okay, what does the word ambition bring up in you, right? Because I guess, as always, depending on what state I'm in, it can mean one thing or another to me, right? But initially, like my old pattern reaction to ambition is, I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not reaching for enough, right? That's like the first instinct that comes up for me with ambition. So initially I was like, oh, really? Ambition? Is this what we have to talk about? But as Brendan and his Daily Fire on his GrowthDay app got more into this topic of ambition, and he gave me a few more words, right? He was like, your drive, your purpose, enthusiasm, passion, right? By the time he got to passion, I was like, okay, I'm in. I gotcha. I know what you mean, right? Your desire to make a difference, right? Oh my goodness, what does ambition mean to you? And did you feel some of that this week? Did you let some of that fuel your week, right? No matter what subject in your life, right? Which one of your 7 key areas, whether this was in your ambition for a healthy, strong, vital body, or if this was your ambition for, oh, I'm going to work on making my relationship amazing this week, or I'm going to be such a effective and wonderful parent, which means setting and holding boundaries, right? Ooh, I'm going to be ambitious as a parent this week. Like, what were you ambitious about during the week? And if you're like, whoops, I didn't think about that at all, can you go back through your week and think about what would that have changed, right? How can I change this for next week? What kind of ambition can I set up for next week? Because as I was kind of feeling into this word ambition, I was like, I am an ambitious person, right? There are a lot of things I am doing with my business right now where I am reaching, where I am growing, where I'm expanding, where I'm going into territory that I have no idea about. Well, I've been reading a lot about it, I've been studying a lot about it, but now it's like, now I need to put it into action, right? So this is my ambition, particularly for next week, right? This week I was very busy with clients, which was amazing, awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. And by the way, if you want to sign up to be one of my clients, go to my website. I'll put the link below. I would love, love, love to work with you. I get such an amazing, I love to help other highly sensitives embrace their truth, their authenticity, their resilience. They just tap into the best that's always there and always has been there, and just kind of got covered up by a lot of stuff in life, right? So next week, I'm going to be focusing on the business part a little bit more. I'm finally going to get this course up for you, this 33-day course. I have filmed 33 amazing videos that go through all my tools. I'm going to lay it all out. Everything that has helped me for the last 20 years is going to go in this course in a way that's super easy to apply, super easy to follow along, incredibly engaging. You're going to love it. I'm going to take the time for it. I'm finally going to get it up for you next week. What else am I ambitious about? My boyfriend and I have not been vibing very well, which is hard because we're making this big move to move in together in May. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is not feeling great. We constantly get into fights in the morning when we're talking on the phone, or not really fights, but more like, we're not vibing. He's just pulling me down. I don't really want to talk to you anymore in the morning, right? So we had a conversation about it, and we had an open, honest, vulnerable conversation about it, right? Can you be more ambitious in your relationship of what you want to reach for? So when I thought more about ambition, right, what comes up for me first and foremost is clarity, right? Brendan said intention. One of the first steps is intention. Yes, intention, what is it? But for me, even before then, is clarity. I gotta know what I want, what I'm reaching for. He did talk a lot about what is your goal? What is your dream, right? What is going to just ignite that fire within you to where you're not just surviving or just going through the motions, but something that will pull you. Yes, we all have a lot of everyday life going on, right? When Brendan talks about just sitting there getting lost and answering emails, I'm like, dude, you're so super rich. Why isn't somebody doing that for you? I think he's living this like amazing, like always creating kind of life, but everybody has all aspects of things that they're doing, right? And he does write a lot of his own emails, which is amazing. Point is, there are always going to be things in your everyday that feel more sluggish, that feel like they're not just super igniting you, that feel like this is just stuff that needs to get done, right? But we've got to have these other things that really pull us through, the things that we're passionate about, the things that give us that fire, the things that remind us why we're trudging through the rest of it, right? Sometimes I get so, I've been so focused on nutrition and healthy food, and particularly with my kid, and it takes a lot of time to prep food and to clean the kitchen. It does. It takes a lot of time. And sometimes I'm like, oh, why am I having to do this again? And then I'm like, okay, I know my why. I am passionate about yummy food. I am passionate about food that's going to give me that energy, that vitality, so that I can show up for you and for my kid and for me and for everybody else who I'm going to meet that day, right? Who is it? What is it that gets you so excited that it pulls you, right? It doesn't require all this like, oh, I gotta get myself up to do this. Oh, I don't know if I have the energy. Oh, I'm feeling too tired. Have you ever been like super drained, super tired, and then something was really funny, or something came up that you were just like so excited about, or something came up that you're just so looking forward to? Or like even just like your favorite song came up and you're just like, oh my God, I gotta dance to this thing, right? It's like all of a sudden you find that second wind, you find energy where before there was none. How does that happen, right? And that's something that ignited you. So what is it for you? What was it? What is it? What gets you to be like, oh, my life would be just a whole nother level if this happened in this area of my life? What is it for you? Write it down, journal it, right? And sometimes we do better by looking short term, right? What is it for today? What is my goal today? What is my biggest intention for today? How do I want to feel today, right? Can I even, and this is really such an important part, can I even just connect? Can I connect with that feeling of ambition? Can I think of a time in my life where I really had that drive, where I really had that ambition, where I really was so incredibly passionate about it that I just like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time on it. I devoted so much of myself to it. I had this vision and I followed through. Every morning when I woke up in the morning, I just could not wait to get started on this. Can you think of a time in your life where you felt that way about something? And can you take a few moments right now to close your eyes if you're not driving or doing anything dangerous? If you just close your eyes and just reconnect to that feeling. What did that feel like, right? What does it feel like when I can really lose myself in something creative? When I can really lose myself and I'm really pulled by something and I'm just like, I want to work on this. I want to do this. I want to see this through. I have this vision. I have this clarity. I want to see this through. I want to know what this looks like on the other side. I'm so excited about this. Maybe it was planning a trip. Maybe it was like looking forward to seeing somebody you hadn't seen in a long time, right? Maybe it was about painting whatever you were visualizing, right? Gosh, I admire artists for that. It's just What was it for you? For me, a lot of times it's writing. I love to write so much in my journal. And just that, like, I can just lay it all out. I can figure out my own emotions. I can figure out my own self. I can understand. I can journal myself into a better feeling place, right? What evokes that kind of clarity and passion and desire within you? Hmm. Yeah. And then one last sentence that I leave you with, because I thought this was so powerful when Brendan said this. He was like, when your week had ambition, right? You moved differently. You took action differently, right? So either remember a week when you felt really ambitious, where you felt really connected to your desire, to your vision, to your passion. And then, ooh, how did I move differently? How did I act differently? How did I get up in the morning? How did I feel, right? Neville Goddard. I've been listening to a lot of Neville Goddard. Living in the end. Can you feel it? Not just visualize it, but feel it. Feel like it's already done. So, or if this last week, or you can't think of a week where you had that ambition, what would this last week have felt like, right? There's still 2 days, well, 2.5 days. You have today and Saturday and Sunday. Is there still something that you're like, I'm going to ignite my passion around this again? I'm going to have more ambition in this part of my life again. What would that look like? What would that feel like? What kind of actions would I take? Small, little baby steps, just a little bit at a time to not overwhelm you. But you're going to feel differently, especially when you show up for yourself. When you make a plan, you have that intention, you have that why, and then you follow through with it with small little action steps. Amazing. We can already get ahead of our next week or do it as like a vision review of the past week. How would it have been differently? How would I have loved for that interaction with my friend to go, for that meeting with that date to go, for that interaction with my kiddo over the dinner table, or when I picked him up from Ninja? How would that have gone differently if I would have shown up in my ambition to make that something really, really great in my life, right? Look over the lives that we've done this last week. Thank you for being with me. I so appreciate you being here and listening to these things and engaging with me and wanting to better your life. This is so huge. That in and of itself is an ambition, right? To want to be different, to want to reach for personal growth, to want to be the best version of yourself, right? To continuously do the work to connect to all you are, because really you don't have to be different or better. It's just a matter of aligning, of connecting, of allowing that authentic truth, that level of love and presence, right? So thank you for being here. Look back over this week. We already talked about dreaming big, setting those big goals, right? What is possible for me? And then even take it a step further. Can you imagine? What can I be ambitious about that would change my life significantly in the next month? I'll leave you with that. I'll see you tomorrow.